All right, folks, an absolute beautiful day here in Northeast Tennessee. So thankful to be here. It is overcast somewhat, which makes it a good day to do a driving video, and that's what I'm doing. Hope you're doing good, folks. Hope you're living somewhere you love, because I absolutely love it here. Thankful to be living here. Don't want to live anywhere else, folks. Thankful to be alive. Thankful that the Creator's given me another day to breathe His wonderful air. I don't deserve it, but He's given it to me anyway. And I don't think I've deserved one day that I have lived. But I have gotten blessed with that day, and I'm blessed with another one today, and I'm also thankful for it. Look at that sky. Ain't that beautiful? Oh, yeah, folks. So, folks, you know, the crazy times we are living in, they're absolutely ridiculous, and you can see all that's going on. And if you think it all, if you're able to think it all and you're aware just a little bit, you understand and see where the Western civilization, especially the United States, you understand and see where we are going, where we are headed. And we are definitely headed for a poorer time where our standard of living will be way lower than what it is right now. And folks, let me tell you, if you think things are rough right now, when the dollar loses its value and settles where it's going to settle, where the rest of the world wants it to settle, then you will be living, I don't believe it'll drop its value down to zero, but you will be living just like every other person on the planet, where you struggle to pay bills, your electric bill, where everything is just so expensive. And it's not that everything is really expensive. The dollar isn't worth much. You get what I'm saying? Your dollar isn't worth a whole lot. So I guess everything is expensive. But it's because the dollar has lost its value. Yeah. And so sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Looking at stuff. And so when that day does come, and it may not be in my lifetime, but it will for sure be in my grandchildren's, probably my children's lifetime, more than likely my lifetime, if I get to live a little longer. And so when that day comes, wouldn't you want, and it is happening, folks, it's happening right now. It's not like it's gonna happen overnight. It's been going on for the last 10 years, and it's gonna continue to go on until that dollar settles, the value of the dollar settles right where they want it to. And they may call it a soft landing or whatever, but this is happening, folks. There's no getting around it. The savior Trump, is not going to stop it. Biden can't do anything about it. No one can. It's just how it is. And so, yeah, wouldn't you like to be ready for this when it comes? And it is coming. Now, before it is totally in effect, and before it's totally that value of the dollar, before it's totally settled, we could have some upticks and some bad downticks, and then some upticks. I mean, it can go and probably will go up and down and up and down. But all the while, it is falling. And so when we lose a little bit of ground there, we never really regain all of it back. We just gain some of it back. And then we lose some more ground, and it looks like we're doing okay because we've gained about 60% of that back, but we never got back to where we were. And that's what has been happening and is happening now. And so when that dollar finally settles where it's going to be, wouldn't you want to be ready? Wouldn't you want to be set and ready? Because that's an absolute promise that is coming, folks. That is absolutely coming. Unless they redo the whole world system and come up with something grand, that's happening. So be ready for it, folks. And you should be thinking of some of the things you could do to counter that. So the dollar's losing its value, so you're going to have to buy things, so buy them now, acquire things now. Electricity, and so when that day comes, you already have those things. You already have them. Your children have them, and your grandchildren have them. They don't have to worry about purchasing certain things, tractors and excavators and skid steers and hammers and drills and that sort of thing, houses and land and everything. I'm talking about everything, pots and pans and all of it, folks. Hang on. So, wouldn't you like to be ready? Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to be ready? And, electricity is going to be high. So maybe some solar, maybe some wind-generated electricity or some hydropower from the creek to kind of set that off a little bit. We know food's going to be expensive. It's expensive now. Imagine what it's going to be like then. Wouldn't you like to have some land to work and already have things growing, some apple trees and plum trees and raspberry bushes and growing cabbage and broccoli through the cool weather time and tomatoes and cucumbers and watermelons during the hot times? Wouldn't you like to already have that going? Wouldn't you like to know your wild edibles, your wild medicinals, to help that out just a little bit? Maybe not a whole bunch, but a little bit. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, it would be awesome to me. Anyway, I got to figure out where I'm turning here. No, not there. Let's hop on the freeway, and then we'll hop right back off. How about that? So this is Rocky Top. There's wildfires here right now. We need it to rain. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. That'll be a good thing. But Rocky Top has 2 exits. We're going to the next one, and it's just going to kill about 2 minutes. But where I need to go, I can't take the freeway all the way down because there's a wreck or something down here. So, yeah, folks. So imagine offsetting all of this by generating some sort of power and having alternative power of whatever, and then having a garden and knowing your wild edibles, knowing your wild medicinals, and utilizing all of the things that are growing naturally, and then having other things such as fruit trees, nut trees, and then your regular kitchen garden. Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, it'd be awesome to me. All right, so Caryville is where we started. We're in Rocky Top, and we're going to go into Norris. That's if we have enough time. I'll have to cut you off at some point. But we are entering into the Norris area kind of right now. 2.5 miles to the Norris Dam, so we'll see. Sometimes folks drive slow, especially when they're carrying things in the back of the truck with the tailgate down, like this fella. It is beautiful here, folks. So wouldn't you rather already be, and so you're in the suburbs and the cities, and so the crime is going to be worse, and there's, things aren't going to be good, that's for sure. So wouldn't you rather go ahead and make your move, go ahead and get your land, go ahead and acquire everything you're going to need now, plows and tillers or whatever. And so knowing things are going to be more expensive, and you're offsetting by creating a little bit of energy, growing some of your food, harvesting from the woods, medicines and food as well, and animals, hunting and fishing and trapping and all of that sort of thing, raising your own meat, you've got your chickens, learning and figuring out how many chickens or goats can survive on your land without constant feeding. And that's the trick, because sometimes it is not worth having chickens. Sometimes it's not worth having livestock, goats or whatever. Sometimes it's not, because the feed is just too expensive. And so, yeah. And so for us, it would be awesome for us to have goats and chickens because of the land that we have. We have a good bit of land, and it's good goat land. It's excellent goat land. It's this right here. It's what you're looking at. So that is excellent for goats, and it's excellent for chickens, believe it or not. Chickens nibble on leaves and seeds, and they eat the acorns. They chop them up, peck them, and gobble them down, and all of the other nuts and fruits and the seeds that are produced in the woods. But most of all, those chickens can find lots of bugs in the woods. And that is one thing that they need, is that protein from them bugs. But wouldn't you rather do that now and get ready now, folks? It just seems like the thing to do. And so, although I've been doing this for years, I've really stepped up here lately in the last couple of days of gathering things, checking out what I have, figuring out what I might need, and this and that. And so I want to be ready. I want to be ready when I lay my head for that final resting period. I would just like to know that everything's going to be okay for my family, and that we've got a business going, and we've got all the things we need for the business. That these things aren't going to have to be required, and then we're producing food, which hasn't happened yet. We're producing food, we're raising food, and all of the things, folks. Yeah. I would like to know that that's in place. That's happening when I lay my head down for that final time. And wood stoves. And so I'm in the process right now. It's happening slow. I worked on it last week. But we're slowly installing the wood stove. And I'm going to make sure that we have a heat source. Yeah, because we've got plenty of firewood, plenty of trees out there. I pulled out, I've got this old Park model type, like charcoal grill, all thick steel, And so I pulled that out, and then I've got a 40-gallon wood-fired water heater that hopefully it's still in decent condition. I'm going to pull that out and set that up, and just set a couple of things up that is not right by the house, but fairly close to the house, just in case, because we don't know what's going to happen, folks, in the future. Things are crazy out there. And so just a drive and a talk. Yesterday I did a walk and talk, and today I'm doing a drive and talk. I'm headed to the job. This is Norris Dam. Now down there to the left is the Norris Dam Marina. You ain't gonna be able to really see it, but it's awesome. And so we're fixing to drive on the dam, as you can see. All right, folks. So think about some other things you can do to actually generate income and start getting set up for that. And I'm just going to talk about a few non-conventional, crazy things, but these things work. I know people who do them. So I have a buddy of mine who has a little bit of land, and he built a big pole barn. Well, he doesn't use it all, so he's put dividers in it, and he rents out spaces to people. This is at his house, and he's got a separate driveway for all of that. But we're on the dam, but he rents out spaces to people, and you wouldn't believe the people that gobble that space up. Now, behind that pole barn, he's got a nice big area cleared with some RV hookups, and he rents those out. And he rents out RVs. You can come and stay in one of his, or you can pull yours in and pay lot rent. He also has a couple of spots where you can just pull in, and if you're poor and ain't got any money, and you don't need electricity, you're just going to live in your camper without it, maybe run a generator here and there when you need it. He's got spots for that, and he rents those out. People actually do that. And so this fella, he just generates money, just generating money. And this is things you can do in economic hard times to help generate money and offset. Let's say you find, or you might have like a 6x12 enclosed cargo trailer. Did you know you could turn that into a little camper? A little camper. Now, I'm not talking about renting it out for someone to hook up to it and take it on, vacation. But you can actually let it sit where it is, keep the wheels on it. You want it to be portable. Leave it set where it is, and you can actually get enough room for a bed, a shower, and a composting toilet, a stand-up small shower, a composting toilet, and a tiny kitchenette. You can do that. I've been looking into that, folks. Not that I'm going to rent one out, fix one up and rent it out, but I was just interested in it because I thought it was cool, turning a cargo trailer into a camper. And they do it all of the time, and you should check those out. They're actually cool. Finding, and if you have that, it's free because you already had it. You paid for it a long time ago. But maybe you can find one where the axle is not good, and the people just give it to you or sell it to you for scrap. Or finding just a hunting camper for $500. And as long as there's not mold in it, it's doable. You can fix anything on it, and so you fix it up. You totally fix it up and rent it out. Leave it on your property. Get you a toilet and a shower and a kitchenette in there and room for a bed, and that's all you need. Make it nice, decent, and clean and doable, and you can rent that out, folks. Rent it out. Yeah, you charge the folks a certain amount for electric and what have you. Make them get their own propane, and a certain amount for water. And then, things you can do, folks. Maybe you have a camper already. Maybe it's a decent one. You can rent it out right there at your place. Let someone live in it. And we're talking about rough times and generating income, doing things to offset, doing things so you don't have to buy groceries, doing things so you don't have to use so much of the utility company's energy, doing things to offset that, and then creating some income. Hey, I knew a fella in that back in 2008. He drove around and looked at out in the country, and because we lived in Georgia, he went out in the country and was looking for folks who had pecan trees. Then he would ask them if he could pick the pecans off the ground, and everybody said yes. Everybody. He hit the jackpot on one fella who had about 20 pecan trees. There used to be a pecan orchard, and the guy didn't gather them anymore, and he went out there and cleaned up, made hundreds of dollars off of those pecans. Hundreds, folks. Took them to the pecan store. Oh shoot, I was supposed to turn back there. Took them to the pecan store. It's a store in Georgia, and they give him money, and then he had just 5-gallon buckets full for himself, which is just absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, I guess I'll go in this way, huh? Kind of crazy. I think I'm going to turn around. Anyway, folks, so yeah, that's that. You can do all sorts of stuff to create income, to save money and actually make money, especially in an economic downturn. That it just, you want to think this way, that's for sure. I know I've been thinking this way. I'm really not into renting anything out, but I actually been thinking on these lines for sure, especially on the producing food. Now, where we live, we will be able to produce some food like out of the ground, but we're going to do our best is going to be goats and chickens. That's going to be where we do real good. We do have a piece of land that gets full sun, but it's on somewhat of a busy road. So yeah. Anyway, folks, all right. 23 minutes. Let's see if we can stretch it to 24 without any trouble. All right, so this is West Norris Road. We're in Norris, and this is the town of Norris. And Norris is a National Historic City. Folks, we love Norris. We love working here, for sure. We love working in Norris. I would live here. I would live right in town. As long as I had a nice tract of land out, like where I live, I would live here. I would. It's fairly close to Knoxville. We're only about 20 minutes from Knoxville. I wonder, that must be a funeral happening back there. All right, folks, we're at 23 minutes, and I better shut her down. She may not upload. Let's keep going. Think about it, folks. We'll see you.